Hey everybody, this is David at BarnYard Bees. It's June 23rd. It's a rainy, dreary looking day. Down here checking out the bees. What I want to talk about today was coming up to late June. What should you be expecting now for your upcoming summer, or what's left of June, July, August, and what to look for. As you mostly know, the honey flow is pretty much done and has been for a while. There's not a whole lot out there. Our yard does have a lot of clover. You can see some right there, and right to the left of that chicken, not the cup, but you'll see there's some. We have quite a bit, and they do work it very hard. So you know other things are kind of slowed down, and there's not a whole lot out there. So its temperatures are still decently cool for June. Right now it's probably, I'm guessing 75 degrees, maybe early, maybe even lower than that, maybe 72. So it's not hot. It's like I said, it's been rainy, and so what you need to start looking for is your bees are going to slow down. They're not. You're not going to see the traffic in and out like you did before. That's one thing. The new beekeepers, and I try to keep you going month to month, because a lot of new beekeepers will start worrying that their bees just aren't moving as much as they are. You may notice them as it gets hot, bearding more on outside. You know, collecting more on outside. And splits, your splits, or if you're doing splits, they're not going to be as easy as they was before. All that's going to slow down some. This right here was had no queen, just a queen cell, just one of my little 2-frame nukes. Now, and I'm going to show you too the mistakes of not using the smoker while we're at it. Now, I tell you, I could blow a little smoke on these things and they wouldn't care at all. But you watch how fast their demeanor changes without that little puff of smoke. Now, they may prove me wrong, of course, but probably not. They're probably going to get angry. What I was going to do is pull this frame out, and I'm going to move it over to this 5-frame nuke. We'll see now. They're going to prove me wrong. This frame here is packed full of pollen and honey. Of course, this is a 2-frame nuke, so they don't have a whole lot of options to go with many frames. So I'm doing this one-handed, so let me set this down in here where I can see. And what I'll do, this one here is younger than I anticipated. I was thinking of another one that was packed out a little bit more. See that one there? See how angry they get? She's already got me. But anyway, yeah, this is one that had a queen cell there about 3 weeks ago. So they're just now. It's not been, their queen hasn't been in there that long. So they're relatively new. But we'll go ahead and split it in, or go ahead and expand it out anyway to the to a bigger 5-frame. Trying to find her on here. I don't see her yet. It's dark. It's kind of looking for eggs, but like I said, I'm holding the camera with one hand, and it's kind of dreary out, so it's kind of hard to. I know it's got eggs because I've already looked a few days ago and saw the eggs. So I know we got a queen. So they're not as grouchy as what I anticipated them being. But what you'll see happening with these smaller colonies, if you do have the 2 frames, the 5 frames among big hives like this, a double 10 frame, which got a lot of bees in it. We got them sitting here next to these little hives. Now, that could be disastrous if you don't put your insurance reducer on there very small that they can protect when it comes to bee in dearth. Now, I recommend, especially with these small ones, the upcoming dearth, as it's right now, these bees aren't that starving for food. You could pour out honey here and, you know, they'll probably go to it, but they won't act like monsters going to it. About a month from now, do that and you'll see a whole different demeanor of bee. They'll be coming at it highly aggressive and attacking like they were starving to death. So what I recommend with these small ones, especially if you got work to do with these, try to get that done now before the strong, hard dearth comes. If you need to, go ahead and move it over to a 5 frame. And that'll buy you some time because, you know, now these bees, it's only really got 1 full frame and they're working on the 2nd frame. And we'll put 3 more frames with starter strips on them. This hive's got a lot of work to do. It's gonna take it a long time. So I'm getting that done early before the dearth comes. Put an insurance reducer on it, small insurance reducer. Try not to open it up. Your bees, if you got any work to do, because it's a bad thing to be going through a 2 frame nuke in the middle of a dearth. Find out what happens to that 2 frame nuke. A lot of times, not always. You expose that and you show them what they got. They start sniffing around. It only takes a few scout bees to report back to base what's over here. And then next thing you know, you look over and they're just, you think you got a million more bees coming in there. Well, yeah, they're not from that hive and they're getting ready to destroy it and take everything they got. So be careful. When in the dearth, for you new beekeepers that don't know, that's when everything starts getting dry out. There's not a lot of rain and everything's slowed down. The bees are hungry, the bees are aggravated because there's not hardly any resources out there. That's dearth. Now this usually goes from well, starting now lightly and then peaking up into August up until September, until you start getting goldenrod flow and you start getting a little bit more nectar back into the hives. And you got to be careful about feeding during that time. If you unless you're reproducing more nukes and trying to grow more colonies, your bees shouldn't be starving. You know, most people have already got their honey supers pulled off, unless you're doing sourwood honey in July. So you really probably don't need to be feeding them anyway this time of year, unless, like I said, you're trying to grow bees, if you're trying to reproduce bees. If you're a honey producer, there's really no point of feeding them then, unless something just happened, accidentally pulled too much honey or got robbed out or something like that. But otherwise, let those bees go, because feeding bees is a good thing, but you just got to be careful and watch how you do it. You start doing that in dearth, even with a high top feeder. That's why a lot of times in dearth time, I like open feeding a long distance away. You know, at least 200-300 yards, you know, as far as you can on your property, away as possible. And that'll draw all those bees that direction, away from your colony, and they'll feed, and they're not feeding right inside their colony, because you can put a hive top feeder in here. You think, well, it's good, it's covered up, it's got a hive top feeder. You're not going to be able to convince these other bees there's no sugar water here. They smell it, and they know, and you'll see them at the vents trying to get up in, because the ones that don't know how to get in the hive. So it can cause trouble. So look, these are just my opinions and the way I've done things for years. So if hopefully you'll take the advice and use it, because like I said, I've been doing this for years, and this is how we do it. But that's about it, folks. Go ahead and end the video. I thought I'd just make a little video today and start talking about a little bit about the dearth. And don't forget, folks, please click on the little bell, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching BarnYard Bees.